All right, Mr. Rotimi Fasakin joins us now. He's a member of the APC. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Good morning, my people. How are you doing?
Oh, we're good, we're good. At that time, it was security, because remember, they had that National Council of State briefing February 5th, and then on the 7th, the big announcements came. So, looking ahead now, with what's going on in the Northeast about security, do you think that if things continue that way, there'll be no reason whatsoever for anyone to suggest any further shift in elections, and those in the Northeast can come out on those election days and vote?
Yeah, thank you, Chamberlain. And good morning, Nigerians. Much as I would support and commend and applaud the military for meritorious work being done in the Northeast as we speak. One just wonders why we left it so late. For 4 or 5 years, it's akin to a student that had 5 months. You know, these days lecturers set their exams ahead of time for semester exams, before they start lectures. So he had already told you that, look, all these topics will be in my exam. And a student leaves it so late till a day to the exam before doing, rushed stuff like that. That's exactly what we see. Because if we knew at the time that Dr. Jonathan got his mandate in 2011, that in 2015 there will be another election, and there was this insurgency, and which we had known all along, that a bunch of ragtag, a band of ragtag, terrorists cannot strength of our military, So if they had given it the necessary push, for the last 2, 3, 4 years, I mean, the entire thing called Boko Haram would have been wiped out. That is the truth on ground, and we must never run away from that. But as it is now, that we now had a situation whereby election that we had known should take place, every 4 years, because if you look at any democratic practice, the electoral process is pivotal to its success. The electoral process is the fulcrum, on which any democratic practice hinges on. Elections are sacrosanct for democracy. When you remove elections from democracy, you have autocracy.
But elections will still hold.
No, but you see, the truth of the matter is that as we speak, the elections holding, seems to hang on a balance as we speak.
How?
Oh yes, there are many things that are threatening the election. Apart from, it was earlier in the month that we had, the military that told, the INEC chair, INEC, that they were ready to support the election, came back later on in a vote phase and said that they were not ready anymore. But right now, there is a plethora, of court cases, that you will say is a kind of rehash of the 1993 debacle, where you had Aton Zeribe-led Association for Better Nigeria coming to...
Do you think that as things go, if they continue in that stead, there will be no reason whatsoever from security perspective about the elections?
In answering your question, it reminds me of a story told by, I think it was Stephen Covey, in his book, The 7 Habits of highly successful people. that of a young man, a young lad, who looked at a sage in his village and held a bird in his hand, and told the sage, because this sage just gave the impression that he understood everything, that he knew everything, that he was all-knowing. And this guy, this young man, just wanted to prove that, no, you can know, prove that you are all-knowing. And told the sage, "Nay, sir, this bird I'm holding in my hand, is it dead or alive?" The young man, the old man looked at the boy and said, "My son, if I tell you this bird is dead, all you need to do is just open your hand and the bird will fly away and I'll be made a liar. If I tell you this bird is alive, all you need to do is just use your hand and squeeze it a little and that bird will be dead. So, son, it's in your hand." I'd say it clearly. It has always been in the hand of our Nigerian military to either allow Boko Haram to live or allow Boko Haram to be exterminated. That is the truth.
In a democratic dispensation.
How do you mean?
Because remember, the arms and ammunition, the weaponry being supplied now is part of what they attribute this to, a major boost, and they had to go through Assembly for appropriation for this.
Hey, come on, give me a break.
You don't think that is the case?
No, excuse me. For since 2010 till date, we've had about 4 trillion naira voted for security in this nation. The truth of the matter is that each time we voted some money for security, what we reaped afterwards was insecurity, which would necessitate voting more money the succeeding year for security. And when we did that, what we reaped also was more insecurity. So please, let us not go there about, budgetary allocation of equipment and that. We just need to understand clearly that it has always been in the hand of our military to either allow Boko Haram to continue to, torment us, or to finish them off.
Why are we reluctant to give praise to whom it is due? Because if we're saying that we commend the military, we know that the military did not do it by itself. My colleague already pointed out earlier, and I think that a member in the House of Rep also pointed out that, if the military is doing well, they were supported by somebody. I mean, they have a commander-in-chief. If it's fair to lay the blame of, the successes we did not record in the past or the failures of the past at his table, I think it's also fair that he gets the glory when things are beginning to look up. You don't think so?
Thank you, Mokwe. Thousands of people have been killed quite gratuitously over the last 4 or 5 years. Needless deaths. What we had seen, and I make no pretenses about it, that see, our president has shown much insouciance in the last 4 or 5 years. A great deal of aloofness to the problem of insecurity in our land. And we must never run away from that fact. Let me give you some examples. Before you, hang on. Let me give you some examples. See, was it last year there was a bomb blast in Yanya in Abuja? The president was there. He saw the splattered blood on the floor. He saw the dismembered bodies. I saw him put on a sardonic look, and I was, for the first time, I said, oh, president is really sad about this situation. Less than 24 hours later, the same president that showed so much unhappiness at, the kind of situation in that place, was in Kano, dancing deliriously, at a rally that was illegal. Meanwhile, people like Saraki, people like Tamboa, the High Commissioner of, UK to Nigeria, was there in the hospital donating blood for the victims of, that bomb blast. Does that show a president that is really serious about the security situation in his country?
So in your opinion,
Yes.
are you saying then that it is only the military that deserves praise in this circumstance? Is that what you're saying?
See, let me tell you.
Is it really possible for you to praise the military without extending the praise to the president?
See, my sister, the commander-in-chief is, in a democracy, is sitting at the apogee of political governance in a nation. And what I'm telling you is that our military had not been able to finish off Boko Haram all these years, had been to the, laissez-faire attitude of our president. There's no point, running away from that.